Alrighty. We're telling your followers that you're live. What's up, Tribal Fig Collector? How's it going? What's up, PCW? Alright, we're getting a few people in here. LEW's in here. KTW, what's up?
Hello, hello.
What's up?
Hello.
Alrighty, everyone. If you didn't know who this is
Yes,
LEW Pick Feds. Pretty big on YouTube compared to me, but we are chatting with him today. So I always like to get a feel of how long people's been doing this to start off every live. I normally do the same questions, but I always get different answers. So I'd like to know when you started LEW, or if you had any other pick feds before LEW that you started but never got on the air. So when did you start doing this kind of stuff?
I posted on a separate channel a long time ago, and I made this quick, like 1 minute match between Dolph Ziggler and Alberto Del Rio. That's when I first started dabbling into it, and then I quit for a long time. And then I started the LEW Pick Fed YouTube channel, and that was before COVID 2020. So it was like very early 2020, and I started out with Raw and SmackDown. That kind of fizzled out, and I made Collision. Collision also kind of fizzled out, and now I'm off to the races with LEW Live, and it's been a journey.
Yeah. But I just recently watched the Rumble not too long ago, and you got some really great stuff coming out. So looks like you got some guys there. I don't know if any of them are your champions, but name off your current
well, my world champion is Adam Cole. Adam Cole's been champ for a long time. He's been champ. So right now we are in the second year. We're closing out the second year of LEW Live, and he's been champ since the first pay-per-view, and that was LEW Clash of the Titans. And yeah, so he won the title against Edge, Finn Balor, and Randy Orton in a Fatal 4-Way. My other champion, I did not grab any other ones. I just grabbed my main champion and all my main feuds heading into WrestleMania. But we also have Cody Rhodes. He won it off of who did he win it off of? I'm blanking right now. But yeah, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Sammy Guevara. He won his title off of Buddy Murphy at Hard to Kill. Cody Rhodes. He won the title off of The Miz, WrestleMania 1. And Sammy Guevara, the Intercontinental Champ. The Tag Team Champs are Kenny Omega and AJ Styles. And the Hardcore Champion, which just got introduced at the Royal Rumble, is Jon Moxley.
Wow. Well, it's a lot of great titles there. I also want to be bringing in a hardcore title soon, so something that's really fun and cool to do. Before I get any farther, people, if you got questions, there's a little question bubble down in the comment thing. Just put your questions in there, and we'll answer them at the end in case you're not here at the end. Or just leave them in the chat, and we'll try to answer them as we go. But it'd be everyone in LEW. Huh. Looks like Man of Steel has some words for you.
Yeah.
So you said you got your biggest rivalries right here on your screen. So kind of go over what's your biggest rivalries right now, and what's your biggest rivalry that you think you've done in LEW?
Right now, some of the bigger rivalries I have headed into WrestleMania is, first of all, we got Bryan Danielson and Johnny Gargano, two of my favorites right now. And they're going to go into WrestleMania, have an absolute classic and just a normal wrestling match with Bret Hart as a special guest referee. It's going to be fun, and it kind of takes me out of my my comfort zone a bit, because with the hardcore division and all that, I I love that backyard wrestling feel. So a classic wrestling match
Yeah.
that's really gonna make me go out of my comfort zone. Then we got the LEW Championship match between Adam Cole and CM Punk. CM Punk won the Royal Rumble this past pay-per-view, and he's gunning for that LEW Championship, in which Adam Cole, a year prior, he beat CM Punk in a 1v1, his first title defense, and so dragging all the way around to WrestleMania 2, CM Punk now gets that opportunity once again. And then my main one, Seth Rollins and Shawn Michaels. This has been they've been going at each other's throats since LEW Live episode 3, the first third episode, so season 1. So they had an infamous match headed into the Fatal 4-Way against Adam Cole. Essentially, Seth Rollins, after being beaten by Shawn Michaels, he got completely fed up, and he curb stomped Shawn a couple times. He hit his head onto the turnbuckle. I have a full-blown video package on my Instagram and YouTube using the fight song from SummerSlam 2002. I was very, very proud of that. But so Shawn Michaels essentially got his neck broke, and they battled it out Hell in a Cell. WrestleMania 1. Sadly, I made the wrong decision not making it my main event, considering it was a 20-minute Hell in a Cell match. But I thought, the world title should get that spotlight.
Yeah.
But now, this time around, they have the chance once again, and this time we're amping it up a bit with a 3 stages of hell. First of all is First Blood. Second is Dog Collar match, and the third one that is completely up to Shawn Michaels. Yeah.
Oh wow. Sounds crazy. So, JWE, we'll get to the figures and stuff later on in the live if you want to stay on and see his answers on the favorite figure. But you're going into WrestleMania now. What are your plans after WrestleMania and for the years ahead, if you have any?
I love to long-term storytell. I've been dragging out a bunch the CM Punk Adam Cole feud since, like I said, the second pay-per-view, Adam Cole's first defense, and I've been dragging this out since episode 3, coming to a close at WrestleMania 2. And well, I do have a lot of plans. I don't really want to spoil too much, but at the end of WrestleMania 2, the production is going to go through the roof. I plan on adding a bunch more sound effects and all that. I plan on making WrestleMania 2 by far my biggest project, and by far my best pay-per-view.
Oh, wow. I can't wait to see it, and hopefully it turns out exactly how you want it. I've been having problems with my pay-per-view, so there's always just take your time on it, man. So what are we just kind of went over that. You said WrestleMania. What comes after WrestleMania? Is it something? Do you kind of base it off kind of what WWE does? I don't remember what they do after WrestleMania. Backlash? No?
I think they usually do WrestleMania Backlash. But that's not how I do it. I do a solid 4 pay-per-views per season. The first pay-per-view, I have no clue. There's going to definitely be some different management heading into season 3. That's kind of a little spoiler for you guys, but I got to bring some very important news to this live, because I'm very honored to be on here and talking with you and getting this platform through Instagram, considering, as you can see, your arena is by far greater than mine. But, so I'm beyond grateful.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. What ring do you have?
I have a custom-made ring. I do have a custom-made ring. In which the turnbuckles are a lot bigger, so it's easier to stand and figure on. But yeah, this is 100% custom made. I didn't make it, or else I would tell you the nooks and crannies of it. But I didn't make it, so I can't really give too much of a description. But it's just a ring. 20 by 20, or so it is a bit smaller.
Yeah, I'd like to do that one day. I'd like to do the TNA style ring. I'd like to make an elimination chamber ring as well, but that just seems like a lot of work. I'm gonna wait for, I think GCW's making one. I'm gonna wait till he posts his, and I can kind of copy out his. Because from the little clips he had on his thing, it looks like it's gonna be crazy. But so you have 4 pay-per-views. You don't know what they're gonna be called, or
the first 2 are normally just you know, a kind of drawing out of a hat essentially, but obviously they have some more background and details to them. But the first 2 are usually just random, and then the second 2 I want to try keeping it around the Royal Rumble, and then WrestleMania is the 4th pay-per-view.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I think I'm going with 5. I think this year. I'm going to try to at least, but yeah, 4 is a pretty good number, I think. So we kind of go in kind of give your top 5s or your just a list of answers on these next questions. What are some of your favorite pick feds right now that you like to watch and on a daily basis or weekly basis whenever they post? You try to watch it or like their stuff.
Yeah.
Just be a part of it.
So essentially, it is quite difficult to watch a whole heck of a lot of pick feds considering I have school, I have work. So it is quite a bit, and then I have to focus on my own pick fed too. So some of the pick feds I try just watching a little bit here and there. I do that with yours. I do that with a couple of my other friends. But the main ones I kind of stick to, mainly for inspiration reasons, are WSC. WSC is the biggest pick fedder in this community, I think. So you got to look to him for some inspiration, production-wise, and all that. GCW also, he comes out with a lot of good matches and stuff. Like he just had the G1 Climax. Danny Meltzer. So Danny, I like Danny's stuff. Although me and Danny, when he was doing the pick fed reviews, my very first pay-per-view, he absolutely crapped on it, and I'm still kind of bitter to this day, but it's fine. But yeah, so Danny, I think he gave my pay-per-view a 1 star, which that makes sense. It makes sense. I looked back and watched it, and I would give it like half a star at this point. But yeah, MDT whenever he decides to ever post. So it's like a WrestleMania thing. You know, you'll get it once a year.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I actually has been trying to catch up on MDT's pick feds, so I think I'm on the right on his first pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I don't know when he started, but he's it was a long time ago when he started, so it's not as crisp and insanely good stop motion, but I mean it's still pretty well for the time. But yeah, MDT is a really good choice.
Also, this guy, he only did it for a little bit, but he was like the main inspiration. He goes by the name of Undisputed Brotherhood. I think he quit that channel, but UWF. If you go back, you could probably find it on YouTube. But he was a big inspiration for mine. But yeah, and then I kind of transitioned over to MDT because they did like this draft thing.
Yeah, I'd like to do a draft. Brotherhood. The first pick feds that I remember was like I can't remember his name for the life of me, but he had like a DX kind of themed name, had an X in it, had a green. I can't for the life of me remember it, but that's the first pick fedder I watched, and that's really why I wanted to start this. So, what are some, I guess you could say, underrated guys that don't have the hundreds, down in the 100 range, don't have thousands and thousands of followers like other people do? Who are some of your most underrated pick fedders?
I will have to say this, Claymore Figs. He's a great friend of mine, and he posts some really good content. He's been kind of struggling with motivation as of late, but I can also say I have been as well. But yeah, you post a lot of good matches and good stories. Of course, you have a lot more Instagram followers, but as you said, you're not as big on YouTube. But yeah, you have an underrated pick fed considering the production, the matches, the storytelling. I saw this MJF segment, which you were doing. You took some promo lines out of his with us. Yeah,
Yeah, that's how I do my promos. I get
yeah,
them from
and I really
actual
like that
ones.
because for me, I sit and I try simulating that, but I can't. It seems like it's a lot of work trying to find the exact like clips and stuff. So, props to you, man.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I appreciate that. So, there's some. I guess you kind of named all the real big ones, but are there any guys you just think are overrated and not that good, since they just seem to have a bunch of followers, but you're just like, that's not my cup of tea. I don't like
Um,
that kind of pick fed.
I don't know. Like, I will say WST. Granted, I don't want to lose my position as Seth Rollins' voice actor, but I don't like the whole vid fed or whatever he calls it. But I understand. I understand why people do. It's just it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, yeah. Well, women figures, realness, wanting to start their own women's. I don't know if you have a women's roster, but I currently do. I just filmed and finished my women's Riot Rumble, which is a pain in the ass. The women figures are completely trash, so I don't suggest doing an all women's roster. But props to you. So we'll get kind of into more of the wrestling
Yeah.
aspect here instead of the figure aspect. So, what are some of your favorite matches that you might have seen live or just watched on TV? Could be from any
So
company.
truth be told, I haven't really gone to many wrestling events. I've only gone to two WWE live events. So Roman Reigns, that was one of Roman's last live events I went to, and it was Cody's first one back. So that was cool.
Oh, wow.
My first WrestleMania match I ever watched was the end of an era match between Undertaker and Triple H, and that goes down as one of my favorites. Uh, the Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, their Takeover Toronto, I think it was, where it's like 3 stages of hell or 2 out of 3 falls, whatever they build it as. But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I really like that match a lot. Sometimes I just go back and I look at old NXT matches just to gain inspiration for the pick and the matches. So with Seth Rollins and Shawn Michaels, I was watching Johnny Gargano versus Andrade. That's an insane match as well. Seth Rollins has also had a lot of good matches, especially like this year. He's had a couple of bangers with Cody Rhodes. Logan Paul this year killed it against Roman Reigns. That's one of my favorite matches of the year. But yeah, that's just to name a few. There's still also a couple. Like I said, I like hardcore wrestling and all that. So you got to throw in Orton versus Mick Foley at, I think, Backlash, was it? With the one thumbtack spot. And also, I thought this match was really good, but the ending was kind of crappy. John Moxley versus Kenny Omega. The exploding barbed wire death match or whatever.
Yeah, that ending really ruined it, even though it was like 4-star, probably higher star match. If
Yeah.
it didn't have that shitty ending. So yeah, so kind of get a feel that you're more of a newer generation wrestling fan. The last few guys I've had on were talking about stuff I didn't even see live or anything, and they were talking about seeing that stuff live and stuff. I'm like, wow, I wasn't even born or thought of. But yes, it's nice to talk to someone that's more
When
of
did
my
you start watching
generation.
wrestling?
I can't really remember. I think I was like so this was like 2006. I'm a 2000
Wow.
baby, so I didn't really. I watched it with my dad, but I didn't live with him. I lived with my grandparents, so they didn't watch it. So once I moved out, I started and AEW started
Mhm.
up. I really got back into it. But I watch all the old stuff, all the old pay-per-views, all that stuff. So I know what happened
Yeah.
and what's going on. So I can understand what they're talking about. So I'm not completely
Mhm.
don't know
Yeah.
anything. So
Well, you know more than me, I'm sure. I started watching wrestling 2011, I think. So, and that was when I was 4 years old. So 2006, right? I was born. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm new to it. I guess I don't know. I've been watching it for over a decade. So but I don't know
Yeah.
what people qualify me as.
Uh,
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
real
I'm not sure.
tricky.
So since you're on the younger side, this question doesn't really. It's probably going to be either WWE or AEW answer. But what's your favorite company in wrestling? Because I'm sure you didn't see WCW because you were born in 2006. So, and
Yeah.
ECW was gone by then. I guess you could be a fan of New
Um,
Japan, but
I will
what's your
say,
favorite company?
I really do love watching wrestling, and so whenever I can, I go back and I watch some older stuff. I'm currently on a binge watch of 1996, both WCW and WWF. And now that year was probably one of the biggest years in wrestling, kind of like how 2022 was. 1996, Stone Cold became a famous line, Austin 316. The NWO formed, so it was a really big year. But my favorite company, I still stick with WWE. It was very difficult
Mm-hmm.
to, especially when Vince was running it, and who knows what's going on nowadays. But I've fallen back in love with it with Triple
Right.
H taking the helm. Still disappointed that Johnny Gargano has been on the roster since the summer, and he's only had one pay-per-view match, and it's in the Royal Rumble. Like, come on,
Right.
Hunter, give me Johnny. But yeah.
So if you can, what's a weekly show that you try to watch live every week, or you record and try to watch later on? What's your favorite show to watch right now?
It's a real toss up because there's a lot going on during the week. I try watching NXT, but it's still kind of difficult considering there's not a whole heck of a lot of people I know there. Raw and SmackDown, I usually try watching. SmackDown, I'm a bit more lenient on, considering it's the weekend and I don't have school, so I try watching it. But the main one I try watching is Monday Night Raw.
That's good. So, so a lot of moments in wrestling. You can the streak being broken is a big moment. A lot of people remember. What are some wrestling moments that are just sketched and edged into your mind for the rest of your life?
I mentioned I started watching wrestling in 2000, around 2011, and the first, like I said, the first WrestleMania match I ever watched was the end of an era. So I remember as a kid, I had this DX DVD set, and I'm pretty sure I still have it somewhere. But I was a huge fan of Triple H and Shawn Michaels, in which that's why they're still one of my favorites to this day. I just went back and watched a bunch of old DX stuff. And The Undertaker, as a kid, that guy's terrifying. And so when Shawn hit Undertaker with the Sweet Chin Music, pedigree combo, 1, 2, kick out somehow, I just remember jumping off of my seat.
Yeah.
A few years later, I remember having a house party. My stepdad and my mom was setting up a party for WrestleMania 30. I remember when Brock Lesnar broke the streak. It went quiet in my house.
Yeah.
It was very shocking. very shocking, and I was very mad considering Brock Lesnar has taken out some of my favorites up to that point. John Cena, as a kid, you gotta love Cena. Triple H broke his arm for Christ's sake. Shawn Michaels, he also F5'd him. So yeah, I was very, very mad.
Yeah. So you just named off a few guys that are your favorites. So what are some of your other favorite wrestlers? I guess Adam Cole could be one since he's your current champion. So what are some?
I'm a big fan of the NXT Black and Gold era. So I love Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Adam Cole. So I love this kind of wrestling. So where they're not like crazy athletic like a Ricochet or Dante Martin, but they could still go in the ring. So like I love Seth Rollins. Everyone on here could be considered one of my favorites. Yeah, right now Cody as well. Cody's up there. Sami Zayn, of course. The whole Bloodline thing. They're doing some insane stuff over there. John Moxley, Kevin Owens. I love some bruisers and stuff like that. So you can also add Randy Orton.
Yeah, that's a good list there. A lot of people's faves in that list. So, yeah, I think you're using the AEW championship as your world champion, if I'm correct. What are some of your favorite championship designs and championship either title wins or title losses or title reigns?
Okay, so titles? I love the design of the AEW title. If I can move Seth out of the way and showcase this baby. I love the North American title. North American title is beautiful. The big gold as well. And seeing CM Punk win the WWE Championship, the spinner, I've always loved that title design. The tag titles, I did like them when I was a kid. They're just copied and pasted now. So I think the design was cool, but they definitely overstayed their welcome. But yeah, so the CM Punk Championship win, Money in the Bank 2011. Also, Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania 30 comes to mind. As well as Shawn Michaels, the boyhood dream has come true. Yeah, all the way back. Those are the ones that are coming to my mind right now. Roman Reigns, his title reign has been long, and for the last couple of months, without Sami, I would probably really start not liking Roman as champ. But Roman as champ,
yeah,
he's fine for now, at least in my book, as long as Sami Zayn's with him. But I guess Sami's gone now, so yeah.
Yep. So, speaking of the Sami Zayn, you got a great storyline going on with him and the Bloodline. What are some of your other storylines? It could be in wrestling or in pick feds that you just like.
For some reason, the first one that came to my mind when you mentioned pick fed storyline was W3A's Adam Cole and Chris Jericho storyline. He recently came out with the video package of it, and I thought it was just one of the coolest things I've seen. I've absolutely loved the Shield. Like most of their storylines, except for Ambrose's heel turn, I didn't like that. But most of their storylines have been top notch. Of course, Cena and The Rock, first time around. Second time around, I don't really remember them doing too much, if I'm mistaken. Daniel Bryan, Yeselmania, Kofi's, Kofi Mania, Gargano, and Ciampa, definitely up there. I don't really think of it as a story, but I'm gonna count it as a whole. Adam Cole, and I'll count that as a world championship run that I loved. Adam Cole's NXT World Title. Yeah.
Yeah. So we haven't mentioned very much of tag teams here. I'm not sure if you mentioned your tag team or who they are, but who are some of your
Um,
favorite tag teams?
truth be told, I'm not a big tag team guy, and as you can see, but as to why I don't really have a big tag team feud going, but I do love a good tag team match. The Usos, they've been killing it. I love the whole thing with Jey Uso and Jimmy. The Shield, I don't know if I think you would consider that more of a faction, but
Yeah.
DIY, Kevin and Sammy when they were doing when Brian returns. I love that little run there. Um, I, I really liked Shane McMahon and The Miz for some reason. Yeah, I really love that tag team for some reason. Just because all my life I've seen The Miz as a douche, and then he's all good now. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Red Dragon, O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. That's a great tag team. The chemistry is on point.
Mhm.
Getting some more AEW guys in there. I love Santana Ortiz. Young Bucks. Young Bucks are challenging my current tag champs, Kenny Omega and AJ Styles. I like the OC. I like Gallows and Anderson. So there's a bunch of people that I do like. It's just that's not my go-to, I guess you could say.
Well, someone asked us earlier. What are some of your favorite figures to either use in pick feds or just the way they look? What are some of your
Okay,
favorites?
I will say that this Kenny Omega, I didn't really like it first, but I started playing around with it a lot. And the Kenny Omega Unmatched Series 1 or 2, I love this figure. Truth be told, if someone is getting pushed, I either really like them as a talent or I really like their figure. Kenny Omega, he's one of those guys who can go in the ring. I don't know how much I like him though, but this figure's it's on point. It's so much fun to pose with. CM Punk, this CM Punk figure, I know the Long Boys kind of kill it, but just having a CM Punk action figure, it's really nice to have. This Rey Mysterio. Now, I had an old Rey Mysterio, but this Rey Mysterio, the newer ones that they are coming out with, I love them. I love Batman, and so having the Batman attire really brings it all together. Stone Cold Steve Austin as well. The WrestleMania Elite, this Kevin Owens, the Elite 91 KO. There's a lot of good figures that are coming out right now. I really want to get an Ultimate Edition Brock Lesnar.
Oh yeah, I got that right here. Great.
I've heard a lot of really good things about that figure, and it's killing me inside seeing my bank account.
Right.
So hopefully one day I'll get it. The only Ultimate Edition I have is the second Cena one, so I'm trying to expand the Ultimate Editions a bit. The Shawn Michaels, I love that Shawn Michaels. I got him, and he almost instantly made my top 10 list. And there goes everyone. That's fine. But yeah, so the Shawn almost instantly made my top 10 list. Same thing with the Seth Rollins. Johnny Gargano, I had to buy that Johnny off of eBay for $30 because they don't come out with any more figures of him. But now that he's back, I cannot wait for more Johnny Gargano elites. Yeah.
Right.
I do have a question for you though. Now that I'm on the rant of Johnny Gargano, how are you liking his new theme song? Like the
I didn't even notice he had a new one. I'm not a big
Oh,
WWE guy
okay.
right now. I watch the pay-per-views,
Yeah.
but that's really it. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not too big. I try to catch the little segments and stuff that they post
Yeah.
on YouTube and on social medias, but I'm not trying to
Yeah.
watch it
I
every
get that.
week.
And that's kind of the same thing with AEW. Now that Adam Cole's back, one of my favorites of all time, I do have to start watching a bit more. But yeah, it was too much wrestling to watch, and at the time when I had to make a decision on what I wanted to watch, I chose WWE.
Yeah. So, kind of go off of this. There's a lot of new figures coming out. You mentioned the Brock Lesnar you're wanting to get. What are some other ones that you're wanting? I know I want the new Ricochet that just came
Mm-hmm.
out, and I think 101. I want that Kevin Owens just because that would be great for just a Stone Cold Kevin Owens feud in your pick fed.
Yeah.
Simple. You don't have to make one. But what are some figures that you're wanting to
Well,
get?
I want to get the new Cody Rhodes that they just came out with. I do have a Cody,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I feel the Elite is a bit more polished up and like saturated, I guess. And I don't know. I just thought it would be a bit more put together than the AW ones, but who knows? The Dolph Ziggler that just went up for pre-order today.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
SummerSlam, I
It's been
think.
a long time since they've
Yeah.
came out with the Ziggler, so I got to get my hands on an official one before they wait another 70 series or whatever.
Right. Yeah. That's a really good one. Um. So we kind of get more back into the pick fetting aspects of this. What are your favorite parts about doing this pick fetting, and what are your least favorite parts?
My favorite part, and I feel this could be an answer to both my favorite and least favorite, is just filming. I got to get myself the urge to film, and sometimes when I want to film,
Yeah.
it could be a good match. Sometimes it's difficult to do so. Like right now, I've set myself up that I want to film all of my WrestleMania matches, so I've done good there. But sometimes when I want to build up a talent, it is quite difficult to do so when you have a couple of figures that just get super loose or break or whatever. But filming, I love the aspect of getting to tell your own story. Without these figures, you can't really do that besides like 2K. But I don't know. I just feel I have a lot more creativity and a lot more control when I have figures to pose around, certain movements, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great answer. Is there any other things that you just absolutely hate about it, or just the filming? Sometimes you just don't have motivation to do.
I think the motivation is the worst thing when it comes to pick betting. Motivation, because if you're not motivated to do something, but you really want to get it out, it is quite difficult because it's either you take a break and then you feel bad because you want to tell your own story, maybe not for the people, but for yourself. You want to tell that story for yourself, but then like that motivation kicks in and like, oh, I'm gonna have to do this for however many hours you want to work on that one match. So motivation is key.
Yeah, and I need a little bit more of that now that I had this issue with this match here. So
it looks very chaotic. I will say that.
Yeah. It was originally a 9-minute match, and then I deleted it because I had no storage, so I just started deleting stuff and permanently deleting stuff, and I must have selected the match. So now I'm just doing a highlight reel of it. Just putting all the spots
We haven't
in
talked about how me and you are in the same boat here. We're both filming on our phone, if I got that right.
Yeah, I do it on my
phone storage is very, very annoying to work with.
Yeah, and then the editing apps that I use, I have 2 editing apps, one for pictures and one for videos, and they take the most storage out of any other app. They're like 71 megabytes and
Yep.
like 30 something. And it's just crazy. I literally, once I figured out that I had lost this match, I was so mad I was about to just not even do it,
Mhm.
cut the whole pay-per-view. But I'm gonna do the highlight, and now I'm looking at upgrading my phone. I'm tempted to get the 14 Pro with the 1 terabyte
Oh,
of
there you go.
storage.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, it's gonna be expensive, but I won't have to fucking delete a bunch of shit all the time when I'm trying to make a video.
I invested in a laptop, and it was the cheapest one on the market. It is kind of a pain, but the storage is very, very useful. Because the last couple of
Yeah.
episodes I've had it, and it just makes it a heck of a lot better.
Yeah, I tried doing that, but I just transferring the pictures over and the clips and everything over. I feel like it's so much easier to
Yeah.
just do it all on my phone.
For me, I don't transfer the clip like the pictures. I transfer I edit on my phone, and then I cut it into like the matches and segments and stuff. So I edit one piece by piece, and then I send it over to my laptop because it's just, for me, it makes it a whole lot easier just to throw all the clips in the order I want and getting a full, good quality video out of it.
That's kind of what I do, but on my phone, I do one match, save it, do another one, save it, and then I put it all together, and then I do commentary of it all together. So, yeah. Oh, well, let's go on. You kind of showed off your arena. You showed off your ring there for a second, but can we get a little better view of the whole setup, like behind the scenes?
So, my setup is a bit of a mess. I tried setting it up well. So, on the side, this is the WrestleMania, so this is exclusive to live. So this is the WrestleMania setup. I got the main event with Seth Rollins, Shawn Michaels, CM Punk, Adam Cole. Got my commentary table. That's just extra stuff. That's not going to be in the actual one. I have a new rep.
Yeah.
Along with some crowd. I have a light overhead and a light right there, along with.
Oh wow, you got the picture lights.
Yeah.
I wanted to get some of those, but
well, they're huge. It was kind of a bad investment on my part, but the more light, the better, I guess. I also got those things in which they work. This TV, I found a DVD player online. It was only $20, and it plays YouTube. So that's how I get all the Titantrons and stuff. So, yeah, only $20. I thought it was a freaking steal.
Right? Yeah. I actually got lucky with mine and the people that sold us this house. So I guess this is technically a $200,000+ TV, but they left it here, so I got to use their TV, and they left the Fire Stick, so
that is awesome.
That's what I use.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, it looks good. Are you on a table, or what are you?
Yes, I am on a table. I did, for the first season, essentially, I was sitting on the floor. My back is effectively ruined for the rest of my life. That was terrible. I still have to invest in an actual chair. Right now I'm just sitting on a wooden stool. So I do have to invest in a chair and make this process a lot more comfortable. But I have my TV right next to me for podcasts, for TV shows, whatever. I have my laptop too. So.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So, I guess I don't know if you've seen mine yet on other lives, but I am in a basement. I got a whole basement here, or half a basement. I am on a ping pong table. So I got all this room here. I got a big pile of cardboard here. I want to build a second arena over here. So that's what all this stuff is. But yeah, I'm on a ping pong table.
So are you going to do
of it.
A backstage, or are you just going to create a whole separate arena?
I want to create a whole separate arena, but I do have a backstage area down here. that it was up on the table.
Yeah, anytime I look on Extreme Stats to get myself one of those, they're all sold out all the time. Yeah.
Oh wow. Extreme. I got mine from WrestleListic. They just send you a link that you have to print out all this, like the crowd thing I had to print out, and I got a little gorilla room I had to print out right here, which is breaking down in the backstage. So yeah, it was like $15 for this, just for the download thing, and like $7 for the other two, I think. So it wasn't bad, but it's kind of difficult to find cardboard big enough. So you're gonna have to have a TV box just to make your crowd background. So, but yeah, it's good to have a TV. I mean, not a TV, a table. I see a lot of kids doing it on the floor. I mean, you got a lot of room, but in the long haul, it's just going to be painful and a pain in the ass to film because you're like, my back hurts. I don't want to do this crap. So, kind of want to get a feel of how you process your stuff. How do you run through your shows, your matches, storylines? How do you process your shows and stuff?
For storylines, right now I have another huge match going on with Randy Orton and Edge. And I gain inspiration from watching older wrestling or just watching matches in general. So the more wrestling you can watch, the more inspired I get, at least. So right now I have Randy Orton and Edge going on as another big match. They're gonna have a last man standing match as their final. But I love drawing it out to have a couple of matches per feud. I don't know that I need to expand it a lot more, but because I kind of like to do that sort of style, and I feel like I probably do it way too much. But in a sense, the pick fed sort of situation. Granted, I love the community and all that, but it's more so for me. Like the Shawn Michaels Seth Rollins feud I've been building forever now, and that kind of stems from when I was younger. Me and my stepdad, we used to argue a lot over who's better, Shawn Michaels or Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was my favorite at the time, and his was Shawn's. His favorite was Shawn Michaels. His all-time favorite is Shawn. So, yeah, so I really wanted to bring that into fruition. And CM Punk, Adam Cole, that's just a dream feud of mine. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe one day, but who knows? I'd love to see CM Punk come back as a heel. So, just it'd be too easy for him to be a heel right now. He's literally one of the most hated wrestlers in the world right now. So, yeah. So, do you plan anything out? Like, do you have a book or anything? Like, I try to write a lot of my stuff out. Like, I plan out my shows and stuff. Do you do any of that kind of stuff?
For the pick fed episodes, I write in my notes what I want to do just so I don't forget. I just go step by step, and whenever I get done with the segment, I go on my notes, I hold in that segment, and I turn it red just so that I know I've completed it. For big matches, I like to script it out and write it down. But for the typical just pick fed episodes, I just like to go with the flow and just have some fun with it. For some of the rivalries I have, I go month by month basis, and I have a blueprint of kind of what I want to do. But sometimes some plans change or whatever, and I feel I could change it, make it better.
Yeah.
But yeah, so sometimes I like to do month by month, and just have a blueprint for a couple of years down the road.
Yeah, I kind of got a little blueprint of what I want. I got the match card sets for my next pay-per-views to what I want to build to, but I know those are going to change, so they're not set. But also, some other guys that were on here said they film their shows from the main event and then backwards, or they go the main event and then the start to the semi-main. how do you film your stuff? Do you just go first, second, third, main event, or whatever? Or how do you do that?
Well, so for the Royal Rumble and for WrestleMania so far, I've been doing parts. But before that, I just chose whatever match I wanted to film next, you know? Like sometimes I would rather film a match that I want to film instead of, oh, I got to film this match before and then I'll get to that match. And then by the time I get to that match, I'm kind of already losing interest in a way or not as excited. So I try
Yeah.
when I did do it in one full show, in which I think that is usually the way to go, but for my phone situation and for how I want to perceive it, I want to make each match a certain length. So if I have a certain part, you know, part 1 is not going to be 5 minutes, and then part 2 is going to be 30 something. So I want to drag out part 1, maybe add a couple of segments, add it a little bit longer. But yeah, so now I just do the parts, so I do one by one. But the full show is usually the way to go, but for lengthwise, I like to do the parts.
Yeah, I also do the same thing there. I'm gonna have this in part 1 and part 2. Hopefully, I can have part 1 done this week and out by Saturday. But I should be able to get this done in a few days since it's just a spots, technically, really. So, but yeah, I always thought that was a really. I never thought of doing it from the main event and then go backwards, or main event and then start. So I always thought that was a different.
People is
I always go
usually
from
like growing,
opening,
you know,
and
like you could film the main event first, but then by the time you get to the first match in the card, then you could be immensely better, and then you want to kind of redo the main event because it's the main event, you know. So I get it motivation-wise, but I don't know how well that would be long-term.
Yeah. From my understanding, doing the main event, it's just like you want to do your best right when you have the most motivation. So you're starting your week off with the first match, main event, and then as you go through your week filming, you just lose motivation, I feel like. So maybe that's the reason why they do that. But
I didn't think about it like that, but yeah.
So you got a big following on YouTube. What would you tell someone that's just starting out? I know Coco, if he's in here, Coco for Coco Puffs 21. He's wanting to start a pick fed. So what would you tell someone like him what to do to help grow and start a pick fed?
Just start. Like you could prepare as much as you want, but until you get that practice down, and like you might not even have to post it just for you, you know. And I feel just make sure it's continuing whatever you had in the last episode or whatever. Just start, because if you don't start, then you know you're gonna drag it on a bit too much. And okay, well, I could have my arena perfect, or I could just start and get better. I'll get my arena good within time, but so the sooner you start, I feel it's the better. Especially with this community. I don't know. This community fluctuates, where it's popular to where it's not. I don't know. I keep my friend group around the same amount of people, and so just start, because who knows, your pick fed could take off. And when I restarted my pick fed, I was doing like 20 views per video, and I was kind of not doing too well. And then when I restarted my pick fed LEW Live episode 1, boom, views skyrocketed to 100, 200, and now I think my highest viewed video is in 2000s. So
wow, pretty good.
Anybody can do it.
I think my highest views in the 200 range. And that's just a short, 15-second.
Yeah, you're doing better than me right now. Right now the views are pretty low, but I'm still very passionate about it, and I try to stay motivated, because at the end of the day, this is mainly for me. So
right. All right. So I like to end off with a kind of talk about something that went on recently. So recently was the Royal Rumble. What are your thoughts on that pay-per-view and the outcomes
So,
of everything?
the Royal Rumble, I thought when I was watching it, the men's Royal Rumble match, I really didn't like it too much. I think I was just expecting too much. To be fair, WWE kind of dragged it
Right.
on that we were getting something big from the Royal Rumble match, and
Yeah.
like a big surprise. We got Booker T doing the Spinneroonie, and we got Logan Paul. But I think I was just expecting too much. But going back and rewatching it, I thought it was a pretty good
Yeah.
match. The right person won, Cody Rhodes.
Mhm.
The next match,
Yeah.
the Pitch Black match, I thought we were in some laser tag place. So I didn't think of it as a match. I just thought LA Knight and Bray Wyatt were having some fun in the laser tag.
Yeah.
Uh,
I thought it looked cool at
oh
least. It
yeah,
just wasn't
I thought it
very
looked cool,
a match.
except for Mountain Dew logo spread out everywhere. We saw more Mountain Dew logos than we
Yeah.
saw moves in the match. And
Yeah.
then the Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair. For me, I think Bianca's title reign is dragging on a bit too much, but who knows what they're planning on doing. I trust Triple H with booking wise and all that. Rhea
Yeah.
Ripley winning the Women's Royal Rumble. I loved the ending sequence. I thought the ending sequence was so creative because Liv was that close, and then just to get thrown off because she got blinded by Asuka. I thought that was a cool sequence. And then the main event, I thought the main event was good. It just goes to show how much of a professional Kevin Owens is because at one point in the match he botched a move and then he went for the pin. Roman kicked out. He hit him with the senton, and then he did the move that he botched previously. So it goes to show how much professional Kevin is. And I feel
Yeah.
the segment at the end after that match made the Royal Rumble. I thought the Royal Rumble was a solid C pay-per-view. Before, that was just because I was disappointed with the men's Rumble. So going back, I thought it was a B pay-per-view without the whole segment at the end. But the segment at the end, it was awesome. Just the complete aspect of Sami Zayn, Shades of the Shield, Seth Rollins turning on Roman, and then you also have Jay leaving the bloodline, which shocked the heck out of me.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Owens getting beat half to death, and I thought it was one of the best segments that we've seen in a long time.
Yeah. I agree on that one. So I like to give this off to the fans, people watching. If you guys have any questions for us, feel free to put them in the comments or in the little question bubble. We'll give that a few minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, my next guest is AK Pro Wrestling. He recently did a Royal Rumble, which was really good. He has a lot of custom figures in his bed. He's going to be fun to chat with. I hope he's still able to do it because we scheduled this a long, long time ago. So I'm hoping he can do it, but if not, we'll get someone in here. But yeah, AK Pro is our next guest. Question for both of us: who's your favorite figure to pose with? Oh, I forgot that. Yeah, I wrote that down. I forgot to answer the question.
For me, it's
You can go
Kenny
ahead and answer.
Omega. Also, this Rey Mysterio is a lot of fun. Seth Rollins, double jointed arms bring a new level to figures, dude. It is so much better.
Right?
Double jointed arms.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the Kinneys are really good. I will say these Young Buck ones that are in my ring right now are complete trash.
Yeah.
They're so loose, and it was a pain to film the match the first time. Now I got to redo it with spots and shit. So they just don't. The AEW figures just can't stand to save their lives. If my life depended on getting AEW figures, like more than one to stand for 5 seconds all at once, I'd probably get killed because they're just so
Yeah.
bad at standing. So, but the Kenny's all right. I don't really know any other figures I like. The Darbies
I
are
love
pretty
the
good.
Dundee, yeah.
What other figures have I been
You have
using?
the Roderick Strong?
I do not have a Roderick Strong. I do have the other Undisputed Era, but I haven't used them yet. They're not in my Fed. I can't really think of.
Roderick Strong is really good.
I gotta look at my pile over here.
Hey, it looks like mine. A complete wreck.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanna set up a little stands there and put my boxes up there. But yeah. The Sammys are pretty decent. To be honest, I really like the Super 7s. They don't have great articulations, but I think it worked out pretty well for that match.
I've yet to get a Super 7 just because of the price point alone.
Yeah, the price is crazy. Yeah. I've been using more AW ones, but even though they're kind of trash sometimes.
Oh, the Ultimate Edition Alexa Bliss. Yeah. That is, I think, my favorite female figure I got.
Yeah, I'd like to get. I was gonna get it, but I'm just not a big fan of women figures. Maybe a Ronda would be nice. Ronda,
yeah,
Rousey
especially
would
since
be really
they
nice.
do basic
the
boots for those guys.
Ultimate Coders. Yeah. So, all right. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Any other questions for us? If you got questions for me, you can ask me. That's fine with me. But I do want to thank you for joining as we wait for more questions.
No problem. We've been figuring this out for a long time. I think I was supposed to be one. I think maybe the first guest. I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe I might have asked you, but
and then I just ended up being busy. But I'm glad we could do it now, especially now since I got WrestleMania coming around the corner.
It's gonna be big.
So I'm actually curious. How do you get your lighting like that?
I have this overhead light here that I got from Walmart for like $15 on Black Friday. Then I got these lights here. What I started out with, I started out with this and this. And then this was when I was at my other house. I was in a little attic, little tiny. Everything looked like crap when I first started. Then I upgraded to getting another one, slightly upgraded it. But this light here is is the best thing ever. If you want light, you need to get an overhead light because it's crazy. Because look at this difference there. Look how dark it is. It's just. But yeah, I got these little light stands here. I had them on the stage, but I figured I'd just put them there and make it kind of look better. But we do have light strips as well, which is always a great thing. This ring light I got on sale, so that's why I got it. But it's kind of shitty. It doesn't really.
Yeah, I
can't even see
the same ring light.
You have to be really to see it.
I didn't really have a use for it, so I just got it's. I don't even know where it's at right now, but yeah.
Yeah, I got it just for like the green screen to maybe use one day and the tripods and stuff. But it's like $10 for stuff that's all like $20 or more. I also got this light I taped up here, which is
you have a bunch of lights. So. I will say that. Like you have like over a dozen of them. It looks like. I have 3, 4, maybe 5 at all. But yeah, your lighting's on point.
Yeah, it's always good to have a lot of light.
Your lighting's on point. I really like the ring. I like how it says BWF in the middle. I love the crowd backdrop. But yeah, I really do appreciate you having me on. It was a lot of fun. We didn't touch on I am WSC's voice actor for Seth Rollins.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think you mentioned it earlier, and someone was like, "Oh my God, you're the voice actor for that." But yeah, I forgot about that. So you kind of mentioned it to me earlier when we were chatting. But for the people watching, I guess you could talk more about that. How did that come along, and how did you even get a hold of him to even
Well,
do something like that?
I made sure I kept my reputation with WSC very good. On his stories and all that, when he was getting hate, I made sure I was on his side about some of the hate. I'm like, oh, I see where you're coming from. It's fine. Don't worry about them. So I think he already kind of liked me in a way. But he had a podcast with Danny Meltzer and GCW, Talking Feds, and I think on there he mentioned something about wanting a Seth Rollins impersonator, and I waited on it for a couple of months because I was just starting out with the voices and stuff, and I thought I had a decent Seth Rollins voice. And yeah, so I hit him up. I said, "Hey, are you still looking for a Seth Rollins impersonator?" He was like, "Yeah." You have any samples? I made a video of the samples, and I just looked at a bunch of Seth Rollins promos, and I just copied off some of the lines. He said he loved it, and I've worked and helped him out with 3 promos since. The most recent being his Royal Rumble predictions video.
So how does that work? Does he send you a script, or what does he do to get you to do your voice acting?
So with WSC, he asks, "Hey, are you going to be free? You free to do a voice?" I always say yeah, because I'm not going to miss up an opportunity helping him out.
Right.
So yeah, so he sends me a script, and I take a picture of it, and I go on my YouTube video maker on my phone, and I just sit there and I practice a couple times, doing the laugh, and I send it over to him, seeing if it's all right. Because I'm such a pro, he always says yes, it's great. But yeah, so yeah, so there's not too much that goes on with it, but as long as I could sit there, start getting my name out a bit more, and with this platform right here, it's been a lot of fun. Just sitting here talking about Pick Fed stuff and wrestling and stuff. So I do appreciate you having me on. I've said that probably a dozen times already, but it really does mean a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to do it. It's fun. It's just chatting with people that do stuff that I do is better than chatting with people that don't understand what I'm doing. They're just like, "Oh, you play with your dolls," and I'm like, "Yeah, I play with my dolls." But yeah, it's just so much better.
It is the worst when it is the worst when you're trying to. So I go into comment sections of wrestling video or wrestling, and anytime like someone has a different viewpoint than me in the comment section, he's like, they just text, "Oh, go play with your dolls, kid." I'm like, okay, I will. Because I don't know how to react to that. They just take one look at my Instagram page and all, like, it's a kid playing with toys. So yeah, like, there's not much I can do there. I'm bad.
Right. Yeah. Well, appreciate being on. Hopefully one day I can have people come back for a second time. I'd love to have you on again. I gotta probably come up with some better questions next time, though. I don't want to ask the same things. So, but that's something done in the future. I want to get a lot of new faces in here. AK Pro's next. So he's had some really good stuff. A lot of people showed off his recent match with his custom Jon Moxley versus, I don't know who he faced, but Jon Moxley won the world championship, and a lot of people praised that match. So
I'll check it out.
Fun having him on. Yeah. So, yeah, thank you, man.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Well, Everyone, make sure to go
Yes.
follow LEW on his
Thank you.
Instagram. Make sure to go follow him on YouTube. I don't know if you're on Facebook. I do have a Facebook page if you want to follow me there, but that's not as big as a thing, I don't think. Facebook feds aren't as big as Instagram feds or YouTube feds. But yeah, make sure to
Thank
go
you.
follow him. He's got great stuff. Yeah.
Also, I
Appreciate
do
it,
have
man.
a second channel I would like to plug. LAW Reacts. I'm just
Oh, yeah.
posting other miscellaneous stuff, so it may not be wrestling, but if you have other
Yeah.
if you have other interests like The Walking Dead, I posted a tier list over there. But it's linked right to my main channel, so you guys do want to go check that out, you can. But yeah, thank you for having me, dude.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Bye.
I'll see you guys. Bye.